Welcome to Laurie's Little Studio, where we sew, paint, and craft. I'm Laurie, and let's get to it. Hey guys, so I finally got a new batch of yarn, as you can see. This was delivered moments ago, and I'm going to open it. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I received some yarn that I ordered that will not work for the project I'm currently working on. This Angora, which if I had known it was Angora, to be honest, I would not have ordered it. So buyer beware, I guess. And then the other issue is this was supposed to be cream. It's not, clearly. And it is also a tangled mess. I'm still trying to unknot this mess. The colors I chose, I think, are all in the blue family. So we're going to see what we have. I don't want to cut my yarn. Okay. Here we go. These, I think, will definitely work. And they're all, I believe all are Lion brand. They're the right size, they're the right type, and they will fit my crochet hook. So there's one. I'll put them all together where you can see. Oh, interesting. Huh. Wow. That's like one of those people who know how to knit, tie knot situations right there, where they've got, I mean, it's like locked on. So let me cut this without cutting my yarn. There we go. Weird. But this is called denim, if I remember correctly. I remember seeing this and thinking, I don't even care. No, it's Carlsbad Caverns. This is the name of the color. What was this one? Glacier Bay and Carlsbad Caverns. And then this one was also a cool name. It was Wolf Trap. I'm not really sure why it's called Wolf Trap. PAID Jaloux en français. Anyway, that was kind of the color range that I was initially going for. So let me pull this over where you can see. There. I think these colors just sort of have a better feel. They just blend a little bit better. Okay guys, so this is probably a little weird. I was talking to my sister on the phone, as I said I would. It's the same day. And I thought I would be making the box out of the plastic and the fabric and da-da-da-da-da. And while I was talking to her and telling her about it, I remembered this bowl. It's a wooden bowl, and it came with our house. We moved into this house about 3 years ago. And this was in one of the cabinets up above where the washer and dryer go. And I thought, well, you know, I'll wait. It's been 3 years. Nobody has asked for the bowl. So it's not really something I would use. I was kind of, you can see it's got coffee stains in it. So my husband brought me a jacket before he left to take the dogs for a walk and said, I need this pocket fixed. And I said, I need a hole in this bowl. So what I'm going to do is take the sandpaper that he gave me, and I'm going to try my best to get this, it's real snaggy, and it would definitely ruin my yarn. So I think what I'm going to do is take a little piece of this and cut it with my, I will cut anything with these. There goes that. All right. But the thing is, I don't want there to be any little snaggy, splintery kind of bits and pieces on the inside or around the edges. But I will check it first. Okay, and it's not clean, so I don't really want to put my yarn in there. However, I don't mind doing it with this. All right, so here's the deal. You put this through here. Oh, that's lovely. Make sure it's not snagging. It's not snagging. So my ball of yarn will stay in the bowl. It won't roll all around on the floor. And I have like a perfect little dispenser right here for the yarn to come from. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I have to create a bag for my yarn. My yarn is everywhere right now. I have a big bowl of it from yesterday. I'm working on adding the wolf trap color. But anyway, so that's what's in the bowl that I'm working on at the moment. I love the way that blends. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I think these colors look really pretty together. I think it'll be a nice little combination. I won't be using this in this project, but I have a lot of it and I want it contained. I have this and I have this. So I'm going to make a bag to keep my yarn in. And I had thought about putting a pocket on this bag, but then I realized that's not what this bag is about. It's not about crochet hooks, needles, anything other than yarn. So it's not going to have a bag for crochet paraphernalia. I'm not going to worry about that. We'll do that in another video. So this bag is just going to simply be a little bag. I will put a handle on it, but the first thing I want to do is get this sized, and I think this is good right here. We'll see what we think. If I have to, I will add more fabric. Yep, I think I am going to have to add some more fabric. So what I'm going to do is let this be half. I'm going to split it down the middle. Yes, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Because I also have this fabric. So let me see. That would give me a lot more if I fold this way. Yeah, this is definitely more in line with what I had in my head when I was thinking about it. It's 14 inches from the top to the bottom. So I like that idea. All right, so I'm going to cut this in half. And the other two projects that I have to do in today's video are, one is hemming a pair of Free People jeans that have been heavily embroidered, and the other one is repairing a pocket on a nylon jacket for my husband. So I'll be busy with those two things as well. And then my sewing room will be a little bit better looking, I think. It'll be cleaned up nice. All right, so they've both been stitched. Now I just need to trim this to fit. Just fold that so I give myself a little guide. Just right along there. All right. Now I will fold this in half. I want to make sure I'm pretty sure it's 14. Let's see. It's exactly 14. So the next step in this bag is I'm going to, I don't want a bunch of loose threads in here, so I think I'll just use my pinking shears to cut these down and kind of help cut down on those loose threads. I decided to pink the edge so that I would only have to fold it under once. And now I am just going to zigzag as sort of a rickrack effect across this top. The outside will have the bobbin thread, which is a dark gray, and I like it. I like that color. Okay, now this side seems to be good. That matches and that matches. Put it back in straight. All right, now let's talk about this bottom edge. Currently we have an envelope fold, or what you can also call a knife edge. So what that means is it's just like this. So I can box it, and that will open up the bottom and give it a little bit of structure so that if you've got yarn in there, it will sit, you know, sit kind of up a little bit like that. And that might not be a bad idea, but I still have to pink these edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the thing I need to do is take this seam right here and line it up with the fold across the bottom. It has to be lined up or it will be a crooked bag. All right. And then I want to measure, make sure this bottom piece on the inside is flat. Okay, it's not, so I'm going to keep working with it until it is flat, like so. There we go. And take a pencil, and I'm just going to say, if I line it up with this point right here on my mat, this is 1 inch, this is 2 inches. So I'm going to come in 2 inches, like so, and just stitch right across that line. See how George manages. Much better. All right, let's go over and do the other one. Now it was 2 inches, so we're going to open this up, match up the fold across the bottom with the seam on the side. And of course this has to be nice and flat all the way across the bottom. I'm going to put the point right here, count 2 inches, 1, 2, so 1, 2, and draw my lines, and then stitch right across those lines. If you're worried that you'll move, shift it, you know, the bottom will move across the top, go ahead and pin it before you move it. Okay, very nice. Okay, so all of my seams have been pinked, so I should not have loose threads on the inside. And if I do find that I'm getting some, I can use fray check on the inside, just on the seams. I'm not going to cut these off because they do add a little bit of stability to the bottom. If you want to cut them off, that wouldn't be a problem, but then you'll have some raw edges that you'll have to deal with. Okay, push out those corners, and that's the way it looks from the outside. So if you're used to seeing bags folded up, this is how it would look. Like so. Okay, now I'm going to make some handles. I made myself a cross stitch bag. I'll try to get a picture that I can pop up right there. And it has a handle that goes from the corner on one side, and it just wraps around and is on the corner opposite. So it works really well for my cross stitch. Things don't fall out when the bag is like just laying like this. That handle, of course, it's way smaller. It's about this wide, but I do like it. It's kind of fun. So I think I'm going to do it with this. All right, if I use this, let's just pretend from here to here, that's about the right length. So now I'm just going to do a straight stitch down here and down here. There you go. right, and I think I'll put it 1 inch from my side seam. And just visually, I'm going to use the music staff for where I will top it, which is right there. Now I could get real boho and just use a button, hand stitch a button to hold this on. That's always an option. Have to remember to remove my pen before I get to it. Okay. And sometimes when I'm doing a project like this, I'll put my machine like this and put it in reverse, and then just stitch backwards, leave it in reverse, and then I'm done. Have to remember to take it out of reverse though. Now you still could put a button right in the middle if you wanted to. If you had like a cute little yarn themed or knitting themed button, that would be kind of cute there. Alright, now I'm going to make sure it's not twisted. I'm going to go across to the other side. I'm going to use my 1 inch again. So from that side seam, I'm going to move over 1 inch, and then visually pop that there, right above that music staff. Kind of square it up, pin it down, and I'm ready to stitch. So here's the bag. It's really cute. I love the fact that all the edges are pinked. Get all these loose threads out of here. This is the inside. It's quite roomy. Here's the handle. And now I'm just going to fill it with yarn. That's nice. And I love the way the handle looks. It's just simple, easy. It kind of matches the bag in a way. It self-closes like most bags that have a crisscross handle, which is nice. So even when it's hanging, if I have it hanging in my room on a hook, the yarn won't get dusty, which is amazing. All right, let's take a look at the jacket. That's a whole bunch of mess off my sewing table too. All that yarn is in one place. I am covered up in bits and pieces of fabric. Okay, wow. All right. So this is the jacket, and there's a pocket issue evidently. I think it's right here. It just decided to fall apart. You know how pockets are. So the lining fabric, yeah, the seam decided to allow the lining fabric to degrade. Okay. Yeah. So what I need to do is push all of this right here into the pocket. I need to clear out these crazy threads. They're just flying everywhere. There's a piece of this that I don't think I need anymore. Oh, look at that. Yuck. I'm just going to trim it off. So in this case, without completely replacing the pocket, I'm just going to stitch it like this. Pin here. And since I'm going to be stitching this way, I'm going to be pinning horizontally this way. And in a case like this, it's entirely up to whoever is fixing it to decide, you know, how much of the lining do I need to preserve. And if I preserve right up to that edge, it'll just fail again. So I'm going to give it I'm going to give my sewing machine enough to bite onto. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to push this in there, all these little fibers. You can actually use a pen or a stiletto or a toothpick or a skewer and just push those fibers in to the inside and then pin. All right, and I'm just going to stitch. And I'm not going to stitch over my pins. And I'm going to use a zigzag stitch. I'm going to pull before I cut these threads. I want them nice and tight on the end. Okay, now let's put the pocket inside and see. Yep, completely fixed. All right, so I'm on to the jeans. I may have to wait because I don't know if I have the proper color. So these are Free People driftwood. They have a tremendous amount of beaded embroidery. I mean, even these. And we were planning to reduce the bell on this pair as well. You might want to reference the video where I did reduce the bell on another pair. The embroidery, however, in this pair is so far back on the back side of the legs that I would end up having to cut into it, and I'm not, and my daughter was not interested in that as well. So we're planning to simply, my husband just came to thank me for the jacket repair. If we reduce the hem, there will be a slight reduction in the bell. I have to measure the inseam, so let's go ahead and do that. They're very long, these pants. They're beautiful, but they're extremely long. So I have to measure on both sides and make sure I'm cutting off exactly the right amount. But the main thing I have to do is find thread that will match. And I'm not sure if this is a blue black or a red black. Kind of thinking maybe it's a blue. So let's see what I have. Alright, so I have managed to remove all of the stitches from one of the legs, and I'm going to start on the other one. I'm saving all my thread in this little paper towel so that I don't have, there's been like a thread bloom in my room. Like, you know how the ocean occasionally has, or a lake will have an algae bloom. It's just crazy in here. It's everywhere. I've got to clean. It's gonna have to happen. The hem has been released on both legs. All right, and these I will press, get them ready to be hemmed, and that will take place tomorrow because it has gotten too late in the day. But we'll be back tomorrow to finish this project and finish this video. Today's Thursday. So I have removed all of the stitches from the hem of both legs, and I've pressed them down. I haven't really ironed them. I've just kind of pressed to get this part where it's flat enough that I can take a decent measurement, get that 32-inch hem, and cut off what I need to cut off. I want to do exactly the same fold under that the original had, which is, I think that's a half of an inch folded under. Let's see. Yes. So the full amount folded under is 1 inch. This is a half and this is a half. Let's get that 32-inch mark again. That's our finish. That's our, you know, where the hem is supposed to fall. From inseam to 32. Okay, that is my mark right there. Yes. Okay. So that means that I need to mark this is my end of the hem. It should be folded here. So this would be a 1/2 inch and this would be a 1/2 inch. All right, and I don't want to cut it in 2 layers. I want to cut 1 layer at a time. So the best way for me to do that is to either use a ham or my sleeve board, or start on a seam. Let me grab my sleeve board. Alright, so I'm going to start right here on this seam. And I'm just going to cut this half and this half. Like so. I would say if you don't have a pronounced line to follow, I got lucky with this right here. But if you don't, this is a good way to measure as well because you're just doing a small section. So if you have a sleeve board, just put it up there, use your tape measure, and just draw your lines. Okay, so here's the part that I cut off that I will save. And jean dust. I think jean dust is so weird. Do you see that? Sorry for the moving camera. It's like, I'm not talking about the big pieces. I'm talking about that dust. It's so weird. Favorite tool, dollar store. All right, I just put this sewing needle on. But I'm going to have to take it off because I know it's not a big enough sewing machine needle to accommodate this thread. So I'm going to stick this in right here by the bow on right there. So that will help me remember, oh yeah, that's a good sewing machine needle. So I've got to find a bigger needle. And sometimes I have jean needles. If I'm good, I'll be able to find one. Ballpoint needles might work. I might look at those. That's only, these are universal. Here's another ballpoint. Universal. Jersey 8012 maybe. I'm going to try this Jersey 9014 because this fabric does have stretch and this 9014 needle is rather large. So right along this edge, I'll start right here. Put my machine in zigzag mode, which is the second button right here. I'm going to put it in the needle down position, and I am going to lengthen my stitch to about 3 and widen my stitch to about 3. I need to make sure that the very edge where I just zigzagged will be folded right into the fold. In other words, it doesn't need to be down here and it doesn't need to be folded over on itself. And I'm going to do horizontal pins this way, like that. And here comes the true test of this thread. We're going to find out if I can do this or not with this thread. So really and truly, the main thing to remember when you're stitching these is you don't want to stretch. You don't want to pull. You don't want to do anything like that while you're going through the sewing machine, because it will cause kind of a lettucey effect around the bottom edge. Once I get these pressed, this project will be officially completed. I think they look pretty good. Gotta get all the lint off. Okay, so here they are hemmed. I need to try to remove this mark right here. That's just chalk. But I think they turned out really nicely, and they are exactly 32 inches on the inseam. So when Jessica tries these on, we'll just post up a picture like we did the last time, and we'll see what she says. So thank you so much for joining me in Laurie's little studio. I hope that at some level, on some level, something we did in this video was inspiring for you and that you found it helpful. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not already subscribed, I would love to have you join us and share our videos and share ideas in the comment section. It would be fantastic. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.